Hey guys, welcome back. Brian here with Agents After Hours. As always, I'm here with my good partners, Luis Anaya and Thomas Kadar. But today, a special guest is with us, a buddy of ours, Chris Baker, from a number of different Keller Williams offices in the area, Southern California. And we're going to talk today about some stuff that he's seeing around the area, stuff revolving around team building, agent recruiting, things you might want to know since the market has been changing quite a bit. So before we get too far into it, let Chris introduce himself, talk more about his background, where he's from, why you should listen to him, and we'll take it from there. Chris, welcome.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on here.
Welcome.
You guys heard, I'm Chris Baker. So I've been in real estate for now over 10 years. Feels like about 5 minutes, but yeah, it's been about 10 years now. Currently, I'm the area director of growth for about 3 market centers up in the Los Angeles area, but I built my real estate business and career out here in Orange County. Still currently live out here in OC, and happy to be part of this awesome podcast and being one of your guests.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what's your position and how many different offices are you currently with?
Okay, so currently on paper, 3, but I also help out some offices here in Orange County as well. But my current position, what I do is I help new agents. I help with real estate school. I help bring in top producing agents to the market center, for growth and all that, because it's still a business. And then I also help agents, which is my favorite part, in business development. So I help agents basically build a team, join a team, expand a team, reorganize their current team if they're having difficulties with some of the agents on there, and it's a lot of fun. I like watching things that I help plant into different seeds grow into big successful.
We've got
businesses.
a lot of new agents, obviously, who are joining our office, and I think it would be beneficial for them to kind of hear from you. What are the pros and cons of kind of joining a team or not joining a team?
Sure.
What's your take on
Pros and cons. Okay, so the pros and cons to not having a team or not being on a team. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a pro to that. Everything that you do is all you. You get the 100% of the commission. You get all, the credibility. It's you, right? But that's just one pro. There's more cons to it, in my opinion. Now, the con is you're literally doing everything by yourself, which in real estate is almost impossible to do. There's so many moving parts and pieces in real estate that to do this all by yourself and to think that you can is just, it's terrible thinking, right? Second of all, another con, it's not really con. People would say like, oh, well, if I join a team, they want to do a 50-50 split with me. I have to do that. Okay, well, what's the big deal with that? Because on a 50-50 split, I have seen more agents make more money on a 50-50 split with the team and the leads and just the environment that they're in than most solo agents by themselves at 100%.
More deals, and they're getting leads.
Yeah.
So if you can combine those things, then obviously they're met.
Right. And they're part of an organization that already has a reputation and clienteles and repeat and referral business.
Yeah, they get to leapfrog the experience.
100%. And here's the thing I tell people too is, because a lot of people, they say, well, I want to build my own team. Why would I join a team? Well, have you been on a team before? Well, no, I haven't. Okay, so then what do you know about building a team? Now, unless you're a part of a team, you don't know all the moving parts and pieces until you're a part of that organization. Right. So the best part about being on a team is seeing the things that you like, things that you don't like. And that way, when you build your own team one day, then you know how to kind of formulate what you need, what you don't need, what you want to add, what you didn't like of being on that team.
Do you think most people come in saying they want to build the team because they see it as the sexy TV thing of being the guy in charge, being the celebrity?
Believe it or not as much as you would think.
Okay, what is it then?
Well, it's because they realize that they want to build, so the people who want to build a team, they want to build a legacy, right? Because it's a business, right? It's like they want to be the Jeff Bezos of, right? Mm. But the difference is instead of like Jeff Bezos where you have books and you have all this and you have to build it from scratch, they have a platform that's already been built for them. It's like, like Tesla, right? Think about it. Like Elon Musk, he didn't reinvent the wheel, right? He just made it his own version of it, right? Cars have been around for centuries, right? But how is he so successful so quickly with such a less reputation in the industry than say Mercedes or Audi or whatever, right? It's because he thought outside the box. He was innovative, right? And that's what these agents have to do is they want to create their own business, but they want to set themselves apart as to where they're different from every single other person, which is what only, because I tell these people for when it comes to making a team, you have to look at things that are going to set you apart from why should I join your team? Right? Why you? I can join his team or his team. Why you? What makes you different, right? From the team member aspect. But in the same sense, or when you have a team, this is what you're sharing with them is like, hey, let me show you what we're different, why we do things the way that we do, why we have such a great track record.
So what should the agent be looking for on the team that they join? What specific things are matching with their kind of?
Well, that depends on who that person is, because every single person is different, right? Every agent is like a fingerprint. They're all going to be different. They all want different things. They all have different needs. They all have different likes and so forth. So what I mean by that is I like to go through this process where I assess every single person. I assess the team leader, who we call the rainmaker, to kind of see what their role should be. Because when it comes to a successful team, everyone should have a specific role to where they're naturally good at it, but they're staying in their lane, right? So for instance, right, when it comes to finance, that's not my thing. I'm terrible at finance. So if you're like, Chris, I need you to work on the finance aspects of the teams and make sure we're in budget. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. You might have to file bankruptcy after that. But if you put me in a lane where it comes to communication or relationships or cold calling or lead generation, and you need someone who's good at lead generating, then you're going to find someone like me that you can put in that position to where that's my lane, that's what I'm good at, that's what I constantly do, and I do it at a high level.
And KW has a great tool for this called the KPA.
Correct.
You use a lot of
the Keller Personality Assessment. Yeah, that's my baby when it comes to team building. And I use that left and right because I look at several things. Now, when it comes to someone who's joining a team, I look at their team dynamic, their ideal environment, and their ideal supervisor. Right? Because that'll tell me with all the different teams that have hired me to help build and grow their team, I know exactly which environment they want. Now, for instance, in my office now, I have some teams that are like really fast paced, like, hey, I've got experience, I've got opportunity, like this is the team to be at, right? And that's their mentality. I have another one that's cutthroat. It's like, hey, the more you succeed on my team, the more opportunity you're going to get. It's extremely competitive. It's like high volume, like fast paced. I have another team that's really mellow and laid back, and it's like, no, we like to share. And so depending on the agent that comes in that wants to join the team, I can see on the KPA they cannot stand competitive environments. So if I put them anywhere near that cutthroat team, they're not only going to hate me, they're going to hate the team, they're going to hate the industry, they're going to leave, and it's just going to be a mess.
Yeah.
But if I put them in an environment where they're naturally like a natural fit, well, they're going to be on the team for a while, and they actually might enjoy real estate because it's not an easy industry as we make it look.
Yeah, it's super important to have that right connection right off the bat. Otherwise,
100%.
Part of that 80-90% that's going to fall out.
The attrition rate.
Yeah, no, exactly. And one of the things that you don't want to do is, especially with newer agents that want to, eventually build their own brand and businesses, you don't want to scare them that easily because they could be an asset for your team, but they could be someone that, who knows, depending on the team leader of that team, they might need someone within the team if they don't have family that's in the industry, because a lot of big teams have family where their kids and grandkids will eventually take on the team, where you build generational wealth, right? They might want people to grow into an executive level within that team from within. And some people don't always want to build a team. They love being an employee of that brand because of the loyalties, what they've done. I mean, there's so many different aspects to the different people that can join a team.
So on the other side we're talking about the new agent kind of looking for a team. So on the other side, when is someone ready to build a team, or when would you say, how many transactions or what level do they need to be at to start building that team? And obviously the team that we know the 7 levels, right? You start off with the assistant, then you get the buyer's agent, 100%. Then you get all that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, that organizational model is something I will geek out on.
Millionaire Real Estate by Gary Keller.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. So I tie that with the KPA, and it really starts with that. But it's not just following the model, because they have to follow the model, right? From levels 1 through 7, right? And getting level 6 is where I tell people that's where you're in retirement age, right? Yeah. But in order to do that, I'd say be on a team for about 1 to 3 years. And I say 1 to 3 because it depends on how quickly they adapt, because some agents, it might take them a year to do their first transaction, but others it may take within the first couple of weeks, right? So it's really a big variable. But I tell them, if you decide you're going to join your own team and this isn't your forever team, I need you to do me a favor. When you meet with these teams, tell them. Be transparent, because the last thing you want to do is build this big relationship. You didn't tell them at the beginning, and then you leave, and then it's like, what the heck, right? So the way that you want to do it is tell them, look, I'm here. And the reason I say this is because this is what I did, right? I'm not like most people, and this is kind of where I figure I found my niche, is when I joined a team, I told her in the beginning, this is for educational purposes. I'm not going to be here for forever. I want to learn as much as I can from you, and then maybe do my own thing. And she's like, no problem, right? Yeah. We agreed on our splits and all that. And she's like, well, when the time comes, just give me a 2-week notice and we're good to go. But I'm not like most people. I gave her a 3-week notice, and being in a recruiting background, I ended up recruiting my replacement, helped train them on the things that I did on the daily basis. And, obviously made sure that they liked each other, and then went on my way. And once I realized, I was like, okay, that was pretty cool, because the way she was so appreciative of that, she was like, oh, wow, no one ever does this. I'm like, yeah, well, that's kind of where I was like, you know what? There's so many other people that could use this, and not a lot of people are tapping into this part, because recruiting is one thing, which, it's just lead generation. Whether you're recruiting to get business for your business, or whether you're recruiting to get agents into your market center. It's one thing to do something you're good at, but then to find something that you're actually passionate and good at, in addition to, that's what makes real estate fun for me.
100%.
So agents coming into this business, actually, good question. How many are you seeing brand new today coming in compared to ones that are leaving who've been in for a couple of years already? Are you seeing more people leave who came in around COVID?
Not who came in around COVID. Actually, the people that pre-COVID, a lot of them, 70% of the agents that I knew, more than that, actually, I want to say like close to 80% of the agents that I knew that thought they knew everything didn't make it through COVID. A lot of the agents from COVID to now, I haven't seen a lot of people like leave. I've just seen some of them have a difficulty of transitioning from part-time to full-time. It's just because they're maybe with the wrong organization, or they're not prioritizing their time correctly. Because I told them, I said, look, in order to be good at real estate, whether you're a solo agent or you're experienced, or whether you're going to join a team, not only is mindset important, because that's what wakes you up every single day, but it's your time management. Right? Yeah. Are you making good use of your time every single day?
Well, discipline too, yeah. So
that's where the mindset comes in. Yeah. The mindset's going to help dictate the discipline on whether or not they're going to be successful in their business. And how hungry are you? How much do you want to succeed? Yeah. Because are you coming from money where this is just a hobby and 1 or 2 deals you're fine, or you do, a couple big deals and you're cool with that? There's really no motivation. They're comfortable just coasting.
So what do you see of the newbies coming in? We're seeing a lot of applications for new agents, like brand new licensed today, which you'd think, everyone's talking about how bad it is. They're getting motivated to get their license.
Well, the biggest thing recently was the scare with NAR and all that stuff. So a lot of people fell back.
The commission scare?
100%. But here's the thing. They don't know what they don't know, right? Unlike the agents like us, where we have to adapt to that. That's brand new to them, But I tell them, I said, there's nothing to be afraid of, right? Because you have to remember, these contracts are different than when I came in. And when I came in, those contracts were different than, say, 10 years ago. They're always going to be changing, right? Mm-hmm. But as far as the people coming in the industry, I'm seeing so many inquiries. Oh, I want to go, I want to get my real estate license. I want to do this. So we'll have just floods of people interested. But then a small amount will actually go through the courses, and then an even smaller amount will actually graduate and get their license. And then there's that percentage that actually make it past 3-4 years.
Sure.
So
it's a very small percentage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it gets smaller. Yeah, it's insane. But we do our best to help guide every single one of our agents, because it's what we do. It's what we love doing.
Yeah.
On the team side, so you also help recruit to these larger teams, high producing agents that are looking for more agents on their teams.
Right.
What's kind of that process, or obviously you're seeing a lot of new agents kind of come in, and then you're using the KPA to direct them to the right team. And then well,
I think speaking with these rainmakers on a quarterly basis, at least, or checking up with them. I like to check in every day. If I'm in the office to see them, okay, how are we doing? Where are we at? Just where they want to be. I have an agent right now that says, I want 10 more agents before the end of the year. Okay, no problem. No, because I already have.
They're saying that because they have so many leads that they can kind of.
Yeah, there's a lot of business to go around, and that's another part too. What I used to tell these new agents coming in, right? Like when I give them a tour of the office, or whatever, because there's some of the agents that we have that actually put their listings on their, on their window, right. And I'm like, you hear all these crazy stories about real estate. Explain how all these listings exist if the real estate is as bad as you're negatively thinking about. It's like it's actually not as bad. If they can make this happen, what's your excuse?
Right.
Simply put. But I talk to the rainmakers. I'm looking at what they want from the very beginning, and then once I kind of have an idea of how their environment works, what they're looking for specifically, what roles. it's easy. In fact, one agent did something really spectacular for me, which I'm like, oh, I told all the other teams, I'm like, mimic this for me. If you want me to help you, this will help me.
Yeah, what was it?
She did a 1-page flyer.
Okay.
On the benefits of being on that team. Like, this is what we offer. This is why. This is, expectations, all this. I was like, oh, this is perfect.
QR code and everything, or
Yeah, all that. Because it's like, when the team does that, it's like you having like a flyer of the house when you walk in, right, to an open house. What are they going to do? They're going to take that. They're going to look at it. They're going to analyze it, right? The whole purpose of that to help the house sell itself.
yes,
Which is what these teams do. But then it's my job to figure out who's the right fit. Right? Yes, each team is great, but they're all different. Each new agent, and not everyone, when I say new agent, it's not just brand new to the industry. I have had people who I brought in that have years of experience that they're struggling, their business going down. It's like, okay, well, you've been doing this by yourself.
Yeah.
You ever think about,
joining a team.
yeah, being part of an organization that
Does their ego let them get out of the way and
most
do
of
it?
the time, yes.
Most of the time?
Most of the time.
Interesting.
Does-
I found, finding the ones that will actually, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, but they're there, right? So I found a couple just in the last 6 months or so that I was able to pull out from another company and say, hey, check out this team, and they joined the team, and it's just, they're like, thank you for that call.
Interesting. Very cool.
They don't know what they don't know. And
In
so
essence, I mean, real estate is always an adaptable, pretty much industry. Like, you got to continue to adapt.
you have to, or you will fail.
Yeah. And a lot of agents always gloat on that. I've been in the industry 15 years. I've been in the industry 18 years. I've been in the, and it's like, dude,
never the good ones either.
No, right. And those are the ones that when COVID happened, I'm like, oh, what happened? Where'd you go? I thought you knew everything. You're 15 years, man.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Oh, well, we're non-essential. I'm
There's
like,
no market. There's no houses anymore.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
sellers are not going to sell. Yeah, no, it's very interesting. I mean, obviously you've been to different companies. You've done a lot of different ventures yourself. What differentiates KW in your eye?
Well, it's not what differentiates. I'm going to break that answer up in two. So to answer that one directly, this company is a great company, but it's not for everybody. Simply put, and I'm going to be the first to admit that, I'll tell you one in a minute. But I like this because of the structure, the model, and the opportunity for growth. This company has allowed me to grow so quickly in such a short period of time that in 10 years, I feel like I've done what most people would take in 20, 30 years at other companies, right? Even outside of this industry. It's given me so much opportunity for growth, and I just love how simple they make it. It's like they provide you all the tools. It's kind of like IKEA, right? Just follow the instructions and it'll be a solid piece of furniture.
Solid-ish. It's like, yeah.
Depends on the builder, yeah. But you get my point. But the thing is, I say that Keller Williams is a great company. It's not for everybody. I remember in 2022, I wanted to do something different, right? And I'm like, and this is where I come in, like, you got to think like a team leader, right? And you got to think outside the box. What makes you different than everybody else? So I said, you know what? Our agents are doing transactions with other agents from other companies. Managers aren't talking to each other, though. So I decided to make a few calls. So I called the manager. I was like, we should meet. They're like, well, you're not trying to recruit me. I was like, no, trust me, we need to meet. We'd sit down, and I'd be like, let me ask you a couple questions. Number one, you're in a position because you like management, you're running your office. Do you like what you do? Oh, I do. Yeah. Okay. And so you're doing it because you want to help that market center grow, right? Whether it's Remax or First Team or Coldwell, whatever. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Do you actually care about your agents? Well, I do. So you want to see them grow? I do. Okay. Because you actually care. All right. Can you admit this? Is your company a great company? But can you admit that it's not for everybody? Absolutely. Okay. How many new people do you get in the door? Oh, all the time. Like, people come in inquiring about being a realtor at this office. Okay. How many join? Oh, what do? Do you just let them go and hope that they choose you? Pretty much. What if we partnered up? Our agents are doing transactions. Why aren't we helping each other out? They're like, how do you mean? Okay. So if I have a relationship with you and someone comes into my door saying, you know what? I'm new. I'm just looking around right now. I'm just checking out the water. I want to interview other companies, right? Okay, have you set those interviews up? Well, no, but I want to explore. So, they're coming in with that no pressure. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you go see my boy over here? He's the manager at this company. They're like, Wait, you're sending me another? Yeah, no, we're good friends because hey, if you like our company, hey, we're gonna welcome you with open arms. But go check theirs out. No joke. October of 2022, I had another company send me 7 brand new agents. 7 brand new. I scored 4 of them. They scored, I think, 2, and 1 went elsewhere.
Did they keep sending them after that? Like, wait, they got 4 of these guys.
No, absolutely. Because guess what? That company doesn't have all the tools Keller Williams has. So they're like, you know what? We're not the company for you, but you're looking for training and education. Go see my boy Chris. You know, because again, they care about the agent. So if they care about the agent, then they know they're going to be in business with them one way or the other, whether it's through transaction or whether it's part of their, you know. So that was a defining moment where I'm like, I'm going to start partnering with brokers from other different, you know, like managers from other different programs.
Do you still do that? Is it still working? Okay. So let me ask you a question. Hypothetically, these people, they have no problem. I mean, because what I've met of agents is that in management or otherwise is there's kind of this ego attached that everyone belongs here. Like we're the place for everything.
Here's the thing. So when it comes to like producing agents, they're not going to do that. If they send you a producing agent, then be suspicious because they're like, ooh, what did this one do?
So
why are you sending this one here?
New agent in new agent spirit.
Agents, yeah.
Okay,
Just new agents.
Okay,
but yeah, we try to because we still need profitability for
sure.
We'll be friends and
okay, that makes sense.
And then they'll call me up like, hey, question, what are you guys doing about this? Right? We'll pick each other's brains. So it's like, this is cool. Now we're getting the managers to work with each other, and there's no like
animosity.
Negative. Yeah, exactly.
It should be. I mean, you should have relationships with all the local brokerages, and somebody doesn't work out. I mean,
100%.
Yell at someone. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, especially in this space because we are seeing
makes broker preview less awkward.
A potpourri of new agents right now. There's so many different kinds of new people coming in. A lot of them still have these secondary jobs that they're still working at the same time, trying to get from part time, and just start. So we're putting through, the trainings we have, but that's been a big thing is getting them to transition. What are you seeing about people in their transition today from part-time to full-time? Is the gap longer between part-time and full-time business for people?
Depends on what that person does full-time. Okay. So I'll sit with them because there's days where they can take off early or there's days where they can, just take the whole day off, and I'll sit with them and I'll do a little coaching session. But the biggest thing is going to talk about time blocking and time management, right? Because if we can figure out, okay, let's see what your schedule is like now. Okay, now let's find the missing pieces to where we can fit real estate in there, right? Because it only takes, you don't have to do real estate full time to be successful. You can do this industry part time, but you really have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And if you can find the time to where you're actually dedicated within and you actually do it, right? That's going to help. Because it only takes really a transaction or two to start with the financial aspect of things. Because that's really the biggest hiccup is the financial things. It's like, well, I can't really lose my job and do this full time unless they have a certain amount of, months they can live on savings. But that's a leap of faith. So if you can transition them by time blocking and time managing and holding them accountable, right? And that's why I say putting them on a team, because by putting someone on it, because there's teams that say, we'll take part-time agents. Some will, not all will, but some will. Those agents will take a couple of transactions from just that big sphere of what that rainmaker has to be able to have enough transactions to fully leave that full-time job and then transition to real estate full-time. So that's why that's another, big factor of joining a team is like, it's going to help expedite that process. You just have to have the discipline and the right time blocking methods to be able to, make that transition come to fruition. So,
yeah, very true.
As far as team building, have teams been on pace the same as they've been before? Are they growing fast now? There's a lot of new agents coming in looking for homes.
Wants to grow. Some people say, I'm happy with my team. I don't need anyone else.
Okay, so it's not a function of like necessity. It's like desire.
Right. Because like I know some agents that say, I want to have a 50 agent team. I know some agents that says, I'm
good with 4.
Right. but that's the thing is like when I tell them too, hey, if you know of anyone that's going to leave your team, let me know. Because that means I need to replace that person, because not everyone's going to do what I did and replace themselves. But sometimes, they're like, this person's about to leave. Can you help me find another, okay, no problem. Let me just pull that KPA back up. I'll see what they're at. Oh yeah, that's right. You were this person. Okay. So I'll look through my list. Okay. You need a buyer's agent. So I'll go, here's the buyer's agents. Okay. Now based on the environment, I'm just connecting the dots. Okay. I'll give you 2 potential agents that I think might be a fit. And if they don't work, then we'll go to my bench, but typically it doesn't take more than 1 or 2 agents for it to be
thinking about all the new changes to what's going on economically in the area, let's call it politically, et cetera. And the companies themselves that were a part of the startup phase a couple years back, that had a lot of really incredible incentives for people joining their company, and all that playing field being flat now. I have a question for you, because you're pretty tied into the operation side of this industry. What do you see as the emerging kind of brokerage system that's going to end up attracting a lot of people? Like, what do you, because I mean, when it was really booming a few years ago before COVID, it was like just throwing money around. Whoever can buy to sit here, that's how you acquire people.
Yeah.
At least that's what it seemed. Either I'm offering stock or I'm offering you marketing money and you're here for 2 years. And, people's, like I think you mentioned earlier, my date's coming up, whatever. So like people's like anniversaries are popping up and they're leaving those companies because they've been stuck there because otherwise they got to pay the money back.
Right.
What do you see as far as like transitions? I think that if people were watching this and they were agents and, they're trying to figure out what's the best place to go, the way they're going to make that decision moving forward is going to be very different than it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it'd be like, where can I get the most out of this? Whereas today, for me, unless I'm missing it, is going to be where can I get the most like inflected into me, because I can't go get that money now. Like the money's not gonna be the same as it was. The stock's not gonna be the same as it was. There might be opportunities if somebody comes up with stuff strategic. We're working on stuff of our own, but like, what do you see as being the place where the market starts shifting to for agents that it wasn't 5 years ago?
Well, it's a combination of 2.5 things.
Okay.
Number one, it's money, right? What can I get? I want more for less, basically. Support, training, marketing. I need my life to be basically validated when it comes to my real estate business. And sometimes some of these big producers are like, hey, you can make my team and myself, our lives easier, and we're spending less at this brokerage. That's going to be a key role. That's going to be like, okay, I'm spending less, but I'm getting more. And I've seen a lot of companies emerging that are doing that is taking away from, the old school traditional brokerage, like say Keller Williams, right? As far as the half aspect is, some people are saying, I'm willing to take a step back in my business because I've realized in the last 2 years or so, my, business has gone down. And I'm in a position where, what, I'm willing to admit I need to take a step back and reanalyze everything. So if you can help me do that, if I can take a step back to have a leap forward, then I'll listen. Just, it's got to be, it's like working with clients. It's as long as you show that you truly care, they'll listen, and you have to have like that passion to actually want to help them grow, And so for me, when it comes to producers, that's what I look at. If they're down, let's talk about it. It's probably going to be a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation, and I'm sure sometimes things in life happen, right? Families, emergencies, crises, it all happens.
Sure.
So what is it and what can we do to get you back on track? Because I know, like, hey, you're with a great company. They offer you this and this and this, right? But are they really sitting down with you and actually having the discussion about, hey, what's really going on and what can I do to help?
How does KW compare to other brokerages? You feel I don't even know how many other brokerages offer a cap. Is it just us, or there's, I think Coldwell does.
It's growing a lot now, isn't it?
There's some that are like
First Team, I think, does now.
Yeah,
First Team doesn't. Remax.
There's some that have like disappearing
older
caps or caps that get lowered, but you start here and based on production you go here. I've seen some where you can choose your type of cap, but you get this for that, or you get this if you choose.
Yeah.
A lot of customization.
A lot of customization.
There's the zero cap agencies right now. Lots of them. I still get a lot of phone calls from
Yeah,
recruiting
they're getting
file
smarter.
fee.
Transaction.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting smarter because the old days, like either your discount broker where it's just a flat fee, so you don't really get any training. It's like, okay, but I need training. Okay, well, are you willing to pay for the training? Hence why you come to Keller Williams, right?
A la
But-
carte service.
Exactly, but now it's different. Now it's really like pick and choose what you want and what you need. So it's interesting to see the companies that are emerging and getting bigger because of that.
There's another copycat of EXP right now, right?
There's a
Real
few.
or-
Oh, he has a few.
Well, well, it's funny because I heard so like
what's Real story? I
E-
don't know much about them.
EXP came out was like we're the KW killers.
Yeah.
Then I think Real came out saying we're the EXP killers. That kind
Yeah.
of thing. And everyone's just trying to. I'm just like, are you guys selling houses though? I mean,
Like
Well-
most agents are.
I mean, it was really easy to be an EXP KW killer when you're offering like, well, we're the EXP. we'll also give you a bunch of stock if you show up over here. And they're basically telling people you're going to retire and not do real estate. So come here where you have to do real estate.
100%.
I mean, essentially, and that's the same thing that I don't want to be mean to anybody, but Compass, when we were at Sotheby's, Compass hit the market and they acquired so many agents out of our office across the parking lot. They did. I mean, they just walked across the street, and there was like, but yeah, they paid for it. They paid them either. I mean, they did. I know this happened to people. Large checks, very big agents. I mean, but there was, and stock. You get to retire, and I won't divulge too much about what we're doing. We're trying to combat that in our own way, but the reality is that people don't really want to work that hard in real estate compared to everything else. Like, dude, if I can get that too, I will gladly go there.
Which is why I sell the whole pitch on building a team, because the best thing you can do to do just that, leverage.
It's true.
Leverage. This is why, you don't want to work that hard? Okay, well, which means you don't want to do everything in real estate, which means you need to build a team.
Yeah.
But you got to be a good leader. You got to have people that want to be with you. You got to you got to actually come from care and candor and really like show that you want to help them grow, because they're going to be like, why am I joining your team?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but the biggest differentiator in all the offices is most brokerages that I've heard, a lot of people that they go to, is the brokers there, they don't even do business right now. So you're joining a brokerage just because they have a zero cap, or you're joining a brokerage because...
Yeah, it's like a race to the bottom.
Yeah, it's literally... They lose sight of the value in regards to going into a brokerage that has active brokers that are actually in the market, that understand what's going on with transactions, that know how to actually work through a deal from beginning to end. It's not just, we're here to collect the fee off of your license.
Actually, help you grow your business.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why when I go into these meetings, I don't talk about Keller Williams. I don't.
Yeah,
because the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book and the KPA, that does the talking for me, right? Sometimes I'll go in a meeting, I'll take the KW off, and I'll be like, what is this worth to you? To actually, because a lot of people say, well, why are you divulging all this information, like the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book? It's like, if you had 100 people in a room and you were to teach them, like the MREA, how many of them are actually going to apply it to their business?
Yeah.
And the reason I say is like, look, everything I'm showing you, can you do this without me? Technically, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy the
But
MREA
it's not
anywhere.
it's gonna take you a lot longer.
Well, you can buy the MREA anywhere, but that doesn't necessarily mean people are putting it into action.
Exactly. But if I can show them, like, if you hire me to help, build this infrastructure, what is that actually worth to you?
Yeah.
I use it for
I met with an
myself.
agent earlier today who's over at the Oppenheim Group, and I'm helping him with some property management stuff. But the conversation kind of led down the path.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear how this went.
No, I was just helping him with property management. I wasn't trying to.
No, still though, I'm interested. Yeah, go ahead.
But he was. He told me he paid $300,000 in taxes last year.
Oh, shit.
And I was like,
That hurts.
so you do flips and investments. Do you know what a cost segregation is? No. Do you know what an accelerated depreciation is? No. So I went through like 8 things he could do on his taxes, and by the end he was like, "Okay, we need to sit down and So it's these agents that even very high level agents that really don't understand these very basic things to eliminate almost.
Well, they only know what they know.
Taxes.
I mean, they're only able to access those tax write-offs if they're around people like us, like that actually know how to actually tap into them, business minded. I mean, don't get me wrong, we love paying our fair share of taxes, and that's it. But if there's tax codes that are going to be able to, that's why I said our fair share. Right?
He's honest.
There's no like.
I'll pay what I legally have to.
Exactly. That's our fair share, right? If you legally have to pay that amount,
I guess
pay
that's
it.
He was talking to his CPA, and his CPA was like, "Hey, I can't give you any advice. You have to tell me what to." I'm like, "What
the hell
are you
is
paying
that
this guy
for?"
Well, that's a new law that passed. There's a law that passed where CPAs cannot give you that kind of an advice to move your business around, because if you get audited and then they get sued, then it falls on them.
Mine, I pay a consulting fee to.
That's
and then
different.
He consults me on how.
Yep.
To,
Which, by the way,
that's-
that's our affiliate. We got, yeah.
Yeah, the consulting fee is different because you're actually asking for him to consult your business. So, but if you're going to go up to your CPA and just be like, "Hey, I need advice," gonna look at you like,
for liability reasons. I get.
it's like anything. It's like a brokerage. Going back to the real estate side,
Yeah.
you walk into your brokerage like, "I need help." Okay, well,
Yeah.
elaborate. What are you lacking on? You're a brand new realtor. What do you need help with?
Yes.
Like it's the same thing, but it's pretty interesting because I run across that all the time. A lot of top producing agents that pay an insane amount of money in taxes that don't even know how
They
to
don't
cost
think about
segregate.
legacy. So this agent makes a lot of money. he buys, maybe a property here and there, and then obviously pays a shit ton in taxes. But
That's crazy.
They don't have the mindset of like, what can I be doing? How can I be structuring myself to really set myself up to have the ability to retire maybe in 5 years if I wanted to, if I was investing properly in the right things. So, I was talking about taxes, about multifamily, about raising money and all these other kinds of things. And it's not even on the radar really. So,
Well, you got to be around people, like-minded individuals. That's the beautiful thing about us, KW, is a lot of open door policies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get to plug into any team that's under the KW umbrella, any office that you go through. I mean, it's such a big network, vast network, that it's going to be hard for you to even tap into it fully.
I can tell, like, right off the bat what agents are going to make it or not that are on teams. And it's funny because I was talking to a team last week, and she's like, a lot of agents were saying that we don't have this, we don't have that, why aren't we doing this? She's like, okay, no problem. So she put everything together,
And they're still not doing it.
and then they don't show up.
No.
It's like, you asked us for this, we made it
Possible.
not only possible, but
For
to
you.
your time frame to where there's no excuse for you not to be here,
Yeah.
and you didn't show.
Yeah, but that's a mindset on those individuals. I mean, there's a lot of people you give them, they cry for a tool, and you give them the tool, and they're like, well, that's not the tool I was crying for. That tool was needed last week. I need a new tool this week.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Excuse.
again, it's
Excuse.
full of excuses. But, I mean, for us, we're solution driven. Every individual here, we're always looking for the right solution. We're looking to solve a problem. I mean, that's what the whole industry is about.
The most successful agent. This is one of my favorite quotes from a show. It's like everyone has access to the information. We just know how to analyze it better. And if you're that team that knows how to analyze it better and actually put it to work and make it work for you, I mean, that means you care about what you do.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the way that we've thought about it, is that in any business, the market splits by two directions. You go this direction to be less, or you go this direction to be better. You can charge more and be better. You can charge less and not have to offer as much. You can be Walmart and offer simplicity. You can be, Nordstrom's and offer service. And you can go these directions. And in my team business, I said I cannot compete with 1.5% and 1%. So we're going to go service based. What do people want more of? I mean, we're a country that is continually trillions of dollars in debt. We clearly don't have a problem spending money. Even we don't have it. Spending's not the problem. It's what am I getting for it? And so same thing in our brokerage specifically, we have this conversation often. It's like, before we took over, we're looking at the splits they were offering. It's like, well, they were just offering things because they were just trying to cater to every possible scenario to collect bodies, as opposed to, are we building the right organization that serves people and does this stuff? And so, like, we started kind of doing what you did for yourself. And this is something that's, in my mind, this is where I see it going. The market is going to split. It's going to split to the EXP competitors this direction, and everyone else who's not specifically a competitor of like a virtual company, take as little as possible, but make it like a membership system, like a 24-hour fitness company or Netflix membership. Is like, you pay us a membership, but whatever the hell you want. Just, this is our customer service email. You deal with it. Or it's going to go this direction, and it's going to be how much you lean in on the things that are required. Like Tom was talking a second ago. That's the stuff that we do on a daily basis internally. It's like, the biggest eaters of all money is taxes. So we focus on, tax strategy. One of the biggest eaters of futures in real estate goes bankruptcy and divorces, your ability to have future wealth. So we focus on real estate investment, trust membership, et cetera. Like, where can we put these pieces together that will allow for that problem to completely vanish? And how do we create that? And you don't charge any different for it. You just do not reestablish your fees to go negative.
Exactly.
Because you're trying to find humans who have breath and a pulse,
Right.
and you create better services. And that's the kind of stuff that is incredibly unique to what we did. I don't mind sharing with anybody because we think it's an incredible game changer for anybody who's coming into real estate, even those who don't make a lot of money. I was sitting down with a girl today who's a brand new agent, and she's kind of doing that thing with, like, I want to make, $70,000. I got to go through all this. And she's got that tax line item. It's like, $20,000 in taxes. Like, that's going to go away. We're going to take that out, and here's what we're going to do over here. It's not me, but I mean, here's our affiliates. We'll figure this out. But dude, it's a third of her cost is taxes.
But that shows value in you, because I mean, the whole saying of it takes money to make money probably came from this industry, right? Because it really does. And if you show people how to save money while actually giving them a value. Like, for instance, like what you just said, if you're not charging them for that, right? They're like, wow, I can save money, learn something. Like that builds like trust in you, you know? And so that's a way to attract other people as well.
The objective should always to be to contribute in a service-based industry far more than you extract.
Yeah.
Like put in a more value, more value, more value. So then when you extract, it's like, dude, that's all I paid for that. Oh, that's sick. Like that. Wait, I got to sit down with you. It's like you could charge $10,000 for that meeting, and the guy'd be like, "This is awesome."
Exactly.
Like, you can charge $290,000.
Yeah, if I can save you 10,000, worth the other 2,000. Yeah, easily do it because it's the service you're worth. So it's like, yeah, for me, I don't think the market will get there 100%, but there's gonna be a giant chunk of the agents that are floating in the middle who don't really want to undervalue themselves and go with like, you know, let's go meet out of the back of a pickup truck and sign my paperwork with you, and I pay you, you know, $200 a month versus. You know, the side where it says there's brokerages are moving to Orange County now that they take 70% of your money.
Yeah.
But they're a high-end luxury brand, but they'll do everything. It's like, well, somewhere in the middle, there's a lot of value that you can retain. It's like same thing with having a team. I can keep all of it and make nothing, or I can get half of it and make a lot more. In scenarios like this, you can retain a lot of it. You're not going to be over there at this companies where they take 70%, but they, you know, I don't know what they do for you, quite frankly, but you know, they look very impressive.
That's how commercial brokerages are. I mean,
That's
they
true.
have like CBRE, Lee and Associates, all these guys. They basically have the new recruit that jumps in, and they join in a team. But I mean, they'll close. Yeah, I mean, they'll close a $10 million deal and walk away with 10 grand or something.
Oh,
But I mean, on once
That
you get to
hurts.
the point where you have your own team, I mean, you basically have, you know, 5 or 10 kind of recruits on your team, and then basically the brokerage is handling everything for you: marketing, you know, website, your admin, everything. But yeah, I mean, you're giving 50% to the house, and then obviously if you're on a team, then you got to split that too, that other 50%. You know, a couple different. But these guys are making it up on volume. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I have a little bit different model. I'm more one-on-one, and I make probably more per commission check than these guys. But these guys are doing, I mean, you know, they're doing 5, 10, $20 million deals, and you got to do them regularly, and the money keeps coming, but it's a business where
Yeah.
it's different. It's a different setup.
in all perspective of that part too, I don't mind paying the 50% if I'm going to learn something out of it. But a lot of these brokerages are just
Yeah, it depends what the upside is.
turn and burn, turn and burn, turn and burn.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like there's no value to it. There's no growth. There's no pretty much future or legacy product to you. It's just you're a product, you're a number, come in, get out, let's get it done. You know, so in any industry, you have to invest the money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you hear all these commission splits and most people are focusing in on, hey, what's my split? What's my take home? What am I going to do? They don't even
They're
want to
not
do the work.
focused on the right thing.
Yeah.
No.
You know, so you got to come in with at least open mindset, be ready and willing to actually invest the time, invest the energy, get something out of it, so that way when you decide to actually build a team, you can build that network, talk to the right people, look at your KPAs, get all the systems optimized, and then, all right, cool, here's your first step. Here's your next step. Because I mean, I know a lot of people that go to different brokerages that don't even know how to structure a team from top to bottom. They get in, they hire 10 agents, they have no administrator, they have no leads, they have nothing, but they just want to get that gloat. Like, I got 10 people and I'm making money off of
collecting
them.
bodies
And,
again.
you know, or I want to start my own brokerage because I want my name on it and I want this, I want that. Like, it's just the millionaire real estate agent dream, you know, from what is that damn show? TMC or what's it called? Or
HGTV?
yeah, HGTV. Yeah, HGTV show where, you know, they make it seem like it's glamour and glorious and it's like all simplistic. It's like,
So fun.
here you go.
Oh, that's why I love teaching real estate in high school. Back in the day when I was teaching in Costa Mesa, I had so much fun with that.
Yeah.
First class was like 80 people. Like, this is a get rich quick. Oh, that was my boot camp. That was my scare class. I had maybe like 10% at most join the next class because everyone was like, oh, yeah, never mind.
So wait, you're telling me that after you get your license, people don't just call you out of nowhere?
You mean I don't just get $10,000 for getting my license? What?
Signing bonus. Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'd find one of those people out in the marketplace somewhere, and the way they talk and walk, you're like, oh my
Well, one of the things that I found as a light bulb, I mean, because, 10 years, you still learn something there every single
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I like to throw in my coaching now is I'm like, no more can you ever say I am, running errands. The second you wake up, you're lead genning somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, think about and I tell them, think about the last 24 hours. How many people did you interact with? Who'd you talk to? Like, oh, well, like, you mean talk on the phone? I'm like, no, everybody. Did you go to Starbucks? Yeah. Okay. What's your barista's name? Oh, I don't know. And some of them will know. They're like, oh, yeah, no, this is, like.
Billy.
Yeah, Billy. Billy knows my order, Come, okay, great. Well, does Billy know you're in real estate?
Nope.
And then that kind of clicks for them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I tell them, write down in the last 24 hours, every single person you interact with. If you don't know their name, just write Starbucks employee 1 and 2. The person who gave you the drink, the person who took your order.
Yeah.
Every single person you talk to is lead generation.
That's true.
If you're not doing that, then there's someone who is, and there's someone, you just don't know who that person has in their database.
That's true.
That can.
They have a mother who's my grandma's going to sell her house. They've got all those things. That's true. We've had a bunch of those. Not through me personally, but I've agents come in like, oh yeah, I got my license because my grandma, that kind of thing.
Weekly assignments is the thing that I like to, hold them accountable with. Like, what have we done? What are we, based on their goals, right? Give them a first 100 days, even if they're brand new. Like,
we have a great, I don't think we talked about it, but yeah, PCX program, which is,
oh yeah,
the night. Have you heard about the?
Oh yeah,
yeah, the 90,
yeah.
90 days.
So far, it's pretty damn sweet.
Education, and then I think day 4 or 5 already, they should be prospecting.
It's basically, I tell people, they're like, well, is it hard? I'm like, well, let's put it this way. I'm giving you the keys to this Ferrari. You have a nice, straight, paved road.
There's a little
veer
bit
off
of torque.
from it. Don't veer off. Don't crash it. And then some agents, this is the funniest thing in the world. Funniest thing. I have an agent. This was, oh my gosh, 8 months ago. I want to say we met. Well, I need someone that does this. I'm like, no way. And I filled in the blanks with everything that KW has. They're like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Basically, they want a Ferrari. And I'm like, here's the Ferrari. Then they're like, oh, well, see, I don't know. I'm like, you wanted the car. I got you the car. Just get in the car.
Yeah,
like, well,
but I wanted it to be a Volkswagen.
I'm like, well, what if I get in and I crash it? Well, you won't know until you get in.
Yeah.
It's like, you want the car. You got the car. Now get in the car. Then they're afraid to get in the car. It's like,
Yeah.
You've been dreaming about it for years. I'm your solution. Here it is. Get in and go.
Connect the dots.
And then something comes up, then they ghost you and all this, and it's like, okay, all right, you weren't ready. You didn't really want it.
Yeah.
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 So,
Well, nice, dude. Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a good episode, but I'll tell you what, just so we wrap up everything on a good note, give us one more solid, amazing nugget of future crystal ball things that they can look at in this marketplace now that we've just gotten through the election period. What do you see coming? What's the biggest trend? Recruiting, agents or otherwise, like just something, anything. Last thing we'll talk about.
perfect. I'll keep it simple. Now is always the right time to buy or sell. Always. I love to, like, just to kind of backtrack the inflation when it just was skyrocketing and huge. I'm like, okay, well, have you heard of something called refinancing? What's more important to you, the house or the number? Because if you like the house, you can always refinance it later, right? So the way that I look with the election and everything now, call me an optimist. But I really think things are going to be a lot better for the industry. But this is an industry that's never going to go away. It doesn't matter. I mean, if someone's looking to come in the industry, like, well, maybe I should wait to, get my license. Why? Do it now, right? Maybe I should wait to, buy a house. Well, why? Do it now. For me, this industry is never. Everything fluctuates.
Yeah.
This is the most fluctuating industry, I think, in the world, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So, to me, I'm optimistic about it just in general. It's always going to be a good time to buy and sell. It's always
fluctuates, but it always goes up, right? Over the long run, right?
There's always going to be someone that needs your services. So if you are in a position to think about getting your license, just do it. If you're in a position to want to buy or sell, right?
Inquire.
Exactly.
Reach out. figure out the
and see if it's really worth
Yeah.
your time to do so. But but from the agent perspective, just do it. you
Nice.
know?
Nice.
But remember, stay committed, right? Be humble, but also be hungry, right? And know the fine line between cocky and confidence.
Fine line.
Yeah. But just do it.
Walk the line.
You won't regret it.
All right, cool. Well, guys, thank you for being here with us on another episode of Agents After Hours. We really love having you. We will be here again. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friend Chris Baker and the guys, as always, Tom Kadar, Luis, Anaya, and myself, Brian Fox. We'll see you on the next episode right here. We'll get you more information on real estate, things you should learn, know, and grow from. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Sure.